for this, born to write, born to speak up, born to fight, born to dream in the dead of night. The gifted bipolar writer, shining so bright. Never in control, but in control of fate. Learning to navigate through love and hate. Rising above with every twist and turn. Embracing the fire as we watch it burn. Embracing the chaos, finding the light. Breaking the chains, taking flight. Riding the waves with all our might. Writing our story in black and white. Never in control, but in control of fate. Learning to navigate through love and hate. Rising above with every twist and turn. Embracing the fire as we watch it burn. Through the highs and lows, we find our way. In the darkest moments, we still find day. The pen in our hand, the power we hold. The story unfolds as we break the mold. Never in control, but in control of fate. Learning to navigate through love and hate. Rising above with every twist and turn. Embracing the fire as we watch it burn. Through the highs and lows, we find our way. In the darkest moments, we still find day. The pen in our hand, the power we hold. The story unfolds as we break the mold.
One of these good old nights, I am going to get caught backstage when I get thrown up here singing the song. Yep, singing the song. I know I should probably say singing my song, but Big Brother wrote that song for me. And yeah, I guess it's kind of our shared song. I know every single word. I have listened to that song over and over and over again. I mean, what does it mean when somebody knows you so well that on the first go round, hey, do you like this? Need any edits? No. Oh, it's perfect. Welcome to Nick Nevin Controls a live show. So I still say it's a live show because I am going to get back to the audio on Sunday morning. It was just too much fun. I want to welcome Leslie and Peter and Jenlyn. Hello. I see Robin. It's so great to see you. Thank you so much for coming. And I know I have all the comments in there telling everybody welcome anyway. I'm so funny. Sharon Rose. I see Marissa and Noor and Jackie and Michelle. Oh my goodness. Lisa is in the house. Hey, Trini girl. Jerry, how are you? And Candace, I cannot wait to talk to you on Tuesday. So let's get started because we have a jam-packed show. Couple of quick announcements. Oops, that's Nick's eyes. Oh, well, here's the first announcement. I have joined the advisory board for HR4U. I am sure that most of you know Jason forehand and know that I'm a huge advocate of Transformation Kitchen. I just love my cup. Be good, be kind, spread joy. Um, and Jason is taking the red eye tonight down to Nicaragua, Rio del Sol. I had the opportunity to meet Jason in March and his beautiful wife, Jody. And a couple of weeks ago, Jenlyn and I did a PJ Party fundraiser, and we were actually able to double the $500 goal, and we earned $1,000 for the organization. And I feel so blessed to be a part of this. One of the best parts about deciding to go full-time entrepreneurship is that I get to invest myself in so many of the things that mean so much to me. So anyway, I have a million notes here, so I'm going to go real fast, okay? Keep up. All right, so I recently joined the Outlier Project, which is so awesome. I joined 2 months ago, well, rejoined, and I got the opportunity to meet Scott McGregor, who is the founder, at that same fundraising event in March. I mean, talk about a bear hug, bear hug. Beer. I gotta really work on my accent here. Okay, so we tonight are being joined by a very special gentleman for just a few minutes. When I came up with a vision for We Choose to Be More Than Our Diagnoses, I knew this would be by far my favorite book. Yes, you did just hear me say that. I'm sorry. I do love legacy. I do love a people first professional networking platform. But this one's been in my heart. And it was probably the first one I wanted to do. But I'm glad that it happened now. You know, life does that to you. It happens when it needs to. And with that, we have 15 incredible co-authors with myself. And I wanted to go really big on this, so I did. I have 2 spokespeople for this book. One is Nancy Deborah Barrows of Voice Your Vibe, and the other is Chris Malazewski of Walking Tall Movement. They're both huge mental health advocates. They, like me, use their voices to speak up against stigmatization in any form. And it is such an honor to be able to have him. He's also the founder of Heel Hill Auctions, and he is the guy to go to for fundraising for nonprofits. So yes, I guess I am going to have to pick his brain. So last announcement, and certainly not least, and this a big one. This past week, I'm so proud to say, 4 months in, Guiding Brilliant Writers has grown. I am publishing 8 books this year. 8 in my first year of business. And with that, I have had to hire because, well, I am bipolar, but I really only have 2 hands. So Sharon Birn, who will be with us tonight, has been hired as GBW Publishing a virtual assistant. Leslie Flowers is now my solo book gold standard editor. I will still be editing my anthologies because I love meeting my writers one-on-one. And of course, Mr. Aaron Gibson there has agreed to humbly do a la carte for me, meaning as part of my package, you can hire Aaron to do a 5 to 7 minute book trailer, like Leslie's beautiful errata, with original song lyrics. It doesn't get better than this. Leslie will also be our audio book manager. And I am grateful to say, with the growth of this business, so many people are getting employment. And also voiceover artists like Annette Gomes and Lydia Lowry Bustler. And I am just opening that up so there are very varied voice options on the audio part. So, okay, I took up 11 minutes. I was supposed to literally use 5. So with that, I'm going to ask if you could please bring up the amazing Chris Malazewski. Thank you. Hello, how are you?
I'm so excited to be here and congratulations. You know, we were talking backstage, Nick. You forgot to highlight something that I believe Aaron mentioned to you. Isn't this the 1 year anniversary of your? Did I hear that right? Isn't this some sort of
Uh,
anniversary?
oh, oh my God!
Leave
Oh,
it
she's
to
got a
me.
photo.
Leave
Oh,
it to me. Listen, let's backtrack. We want to hear all about that. That's something you can't skip. Come on.
shit. Oh, bro, I just cursed on live. Um,
I love
I
it.
brought a paper towel because my left contact lens is kind of like sticking me a little bit. I figured I was gonna tear up, but now I'm really gonna tear up. Shit.
No, that's okay. That's why I'm
Um,
here. This is amazing. Please get to it.
okay, so December 23, I did my first live event, and that was at Christmas Eve at my sister's place in Canada, and that was kind of like just a touch. Nick Nevin Control was supposed to pop out like June the next year, January the next year. I'm sorry, the next month, and it got delayed for like 6 months. No reason, just I work full time, very busy, and so I launched the show on my birthday, June 8th, which is tomorrow. Last year, my first guest was my husband, and he came on to talk about supporting a bipolar wife. And good goddamn, Aaron, I thinking, tomorrow I'm 1 year shy of 50, and my book's going on. My business just started like 4 months ago, and I clean forgot. Sorry, clean forgot. This is the 1 year anniversary of this show. Woo! All right. Oh,
And happy birthday is in order for tomorrow as well. You got a lot on your plate, not to mention you're bringing together some of the most amazing, inspiring authors that I've heard of and have inspired me to do what it is I do. And, Nick, that's really why I'm just so honored and excited to support your work and to support this anthology. We choose to be more than our diagnoses because, as you said, and I hope to be a voice in some capacity to advocate for mental health, diagnoses, disorders, whatever you want to call them. And to just do that, break the stigma and empower others to make the choice to be more than whatever it is others choose to label them or whatever it is their diagnosis is. And that word diagnosis can be scary, but I often say, hey, it's just a roadmap to success, right? Whatever it is you learn about yourself, whatever it is that you can gain knowledge to empower yourself and your community around you to make sure that you're well and healthy and supported, is really what Walking Tall is all about. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're Walking Tall by bringing together 15 amazing people who choose to share their story, who choose to uplift others and believe that vulnerability is strength. And I just can't wait to read it. Like I'm so excited to get it in my hands and see what I can learn from the amazing people that you brought together and how I can continue to be inspired by what it is you got going on.
that's a two-way street. That's a two-way street. So I remember a year before I got my Walking Tall tank top, and when I look back since this journey, it's been about 3 years I've been on LinkedIn, and there's just been people from afar I've admired, right? Yourself being one of them. And it takes time to get yourself to the point that I have. But then in 3 years, somebody else would be there and maybe they'd be looking at me that way. And I just think that we often don't realize the impact that we make on people. And, I wear that tank top out and about Walking Tall. So to have you agree to be one of the spokespeople for this book means so much to me, and by extension the co-authors. I want you to know that, and we really appreciate your time coming on tonight. I know you're super busy, and well, we'll be hanging out some more. We got to do a full show on Chris, because you guys need to understand his background, why Walking Tall movement, and basically why I asked him to do this. I mean, if you want to share like briefly in like 2 minutes why, I mean,
Yeah,
go
so
for it.
thank you for allowing me that space. For those that don't know, unfortunately in 2022, I experienced a mass shooting. Up until that point, I was very healthy, and I still am. I say that, but I was very mentally well. I didn't have any diagnoses. I wasn't on any sort of medication, etc. But as you can imagine, experiencing a mass shooting and gaining the big trauma in one day, if you will, I was diagnosed at that point with PTSD, anxiety, insomnia, and depression, and fought like hell over the last 3 years to overcome it as best I can, learn to understand what it is I need to do on a daily basis to be successful. And I chose to be very vulnerable through that process. And as your authors are doing, Nick, why it was so easy for me to be, I don't even like the word spokesperson. I just want to uplift and support and push people to be vulnerable as you guys all are. And maybe someday, I know you've been asking me behind the scenes, when am I going to write? And sooner or later I will. I just don't feel like my story's told yet. And so, but I just can't thank you enough for allowing me to uplift the work you do, to continue to prove to the world that vulnerability is strength, to the 15 other authors that you've brought together, because their stories are amazing. And we're going to hear 3 of them tonight. Yeah, it's giving me chills. The 1 year anniversary, I do remember that show with your husband, believe it or not. And I was just so proud of you as I've gotten to know you and how strong you've gotten, and the leap you took as an entrepreneur is so inspiring in itself. And so let's plan that show, and let's have a really long conversation between the two of us soon, huh?
Perfect. Thank you so much again for being here. I really appreciate you. And yeah, we'll catch up soon. And we're going to make sure that we do this show as well with
All
Chris.
right, Nick, love you. Walk tall.
Bye. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. So what a show. What a show. Oh, wait, the show has barely even started. All right. So with that, I am going to ask Aaron to start bringing up my guest. We have a jam-packed show, like I said, and beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So this is Crystal Chilcott, Jeff VanDyke, and Sharon Birn. Whew, where do I start? Crystal Chilcott is an international figure. Listen, you know what's scary? I have to say this. So, I have been working on some live show appearances for all of the co-authors. So I have like 8 lined up with different friends who have shows. And one of them said to me, "Oh, can you give me a little background on 5, 6 of them?" And I started rattling off. I was like, "Yeah, I actually do know all my writers that way." And I have such a big family now. So Crystal Chilcott is an international figure skater as well as Miss and Mrs. Colorado. Crystal was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and what I love about this woman is what you see on her arm is actually her Omnipod monitor. Crystal had it outfitted to match her gown and went on the pageant. Like, pfft, no. So you'll get to hear all about that from her. We also have Jeff VanDyke. Oh, goodness. Jeff, I met through Jackie Halbert. This is the power connections, people, okay? This is the power connections. Jeff joined and wrote in Legacy, and we've become really good friends. Like, we text each other. I see you smiling. We text each other, we know what's up. We share pictures. We know what's going on in each other's lives. Um, and I think, is probably the funniest person I know. Seriously, the funniest person I know. When I read his stories, like, I know I'm supposed to be serious because this is a serious topic, but when you read his story, you'll understand. Come back and tell me, Nick, you're absolutely right. Sharon Birn. I had the pleasure of meeting Sharon, and I will be hanging out with her a lot more. Sharon lives 40 minutes from me out here on Long Island. She is in Syosset, and I'm in Miller Place. Why am I saying that? Like, some people know if they don't live in New York. Um, and so I got to have lunch with Sharon last year, and we're like planning. I want to see her at least once a month for lunch, because now I have the opportunity to do that. Sharon is a coach, and more than that, she was just certified as a fitness trainer. Um, she's somebody that I speak with regularly as well, and I am not only honored to have Sharon write with me again, but brought this up with her, and her son Aaron Byrne, who is 19, is also one of our co-authors. I cannot tell you what that means. We have people from 19 all the way to 70 writing, and diagnoses, they don't discriminate. And that's what this show is about. This show is about, you see me, I'm a bipolar businesswoman. You see Crystal? Crystal is a diabetes 1 pageant queen, international skater. You see Jeff? Jeff was born with cerebral palsy, and so was Sharon. And these two, they're running circles around me in their chairs. I can tell you that much. So, with that, I am going to start. We're going to do this a little round robin. Crystal, thank you so much. Welcome. And we'd love to know a little bit more about you personally. What you do for a living. What are some of your hobbies? Oh, and I believe one of your two cats has a second birthday.
Yes, so my cat Encarnacion's birthday was yesterday, so it's very close to yours. So happy birthday to you too, Nick. And I was, celebrating with my cat, and there's cat hair flying everywhere. So typical cat mom things. I have two cats. I have been married for almost 2 years to my husband, Brian. And like you heard from Nick, I was a figure skater for a very long time. I also was a figure skating coach for a while, and that's when I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, but we'll get into that later. And recently, I've been thinking about coming out of retirement from figure skating. So we will see how that story develops, but it's been a huge part of my story as well. And yes, I've been competing in Mrs. Colorado. Next year will be my 3rd year competing. I represent Olympic City, so Colorado Springs, but that's perfect for our sports theme of the night.
Yes, and I want to say thank you so much. Getting Brilliant Writers was able to sponsor one of the letters on her sash. And go into the pageant book. I'm just, I'm blessed by all the people I know for sure. Sharon, please introduce yourself, share a bit about you.
Okay, well, I'm Sharon Birn. For those of you that don't know me, I am a certified life coach and a certified personal trainer. I love dogs. I would love cats, but I have to love them from afar because I am highly allergic and will literally not be able to breathe when I am in their company. So that is the only reason that I don't do the cat thing up close. I am the mom of a brilliant, loving, funny, pull your hair out kind of 21-year-old, actually, Nick, but it's okay. I don't mind you calling him 18, what'd you say, 19? Because that makes me a little younger. So we're all good with that. But yeah, and what I like to do in my spare, I love to read, listen to audiobooks. I love to listen to music. I sing around my house all day long. There's always some kind of music going or some kind of audiobook going. And I just love to help others and to be a mom. Those are the 2 reasons I was put on this earth. And I'm honored to share my story. So thank you.
I love it.
Oh, and before I go, happy birthday and congratulations on your 1-year anniversary. The show last year with Marcos is one I will never forget. And I love you from the bottom of my heart. So you're building your empire and I'm glad to be part of it.
I don't know about an empire, but so before I bring Jeff up, if you don't mind, and because Sharon mentioned somebody, he's right here. He's only going to give a 5-second wave. That's it. Say hi, Boo.
Good evening, guys. Good evening.
So, Sharon, Aaron completely bamboozles me, and I forgot that tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of the show. And that last June 8th, when I did the first show, you came on with me.
Yes.
And people are saying that they still remember that episode. So don't be so shy. Come on sometime with me. All right? Okay. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Aw. Yeah, so like texting her, it's the 1-year anniversary. Could you come and say hi? Oh, goodness. Jeff, thank you for allowing me to do that. I do apologize. So, Jeff, please let us know a little bit about yourself. And I know you're going to make us laugh. I just know it.
All right, so I am Jeff VanDyke, and I am officially a peer mentor for Disability Network West Michigan, which is a nonprofit center for independent living, um, where our goal in a nutshell is people with disabilities helping other people with disabilities find their way in the world. Um, in addition to my work, I am also a illustrator. Um, I'm a published illustrator. I like to try to use my story, my humor, my life in a way that I can reach other people, because the computer screen doesn't really let me touch people that well. Um, it gets in my way. But no, seriously, I look at disability as a a foundation that's turned into a personal strength, and I'll elaborate more on that later. But it has become a pathway to which I can hopefully change the narrative around diagnoses and personal perception as well as outside perception. I just want to make life easier for other people and um, kind of take my experiences and use them in a manner that hopefully, you know, sets a trail for people that come after us. And one more thing that I'll add, since this is an athletic sort of theme, I have been a adaptive athlete for 24 years, I think. So um, my first foray into adaptive sports came when I was, I think, about 12. Um, After our physical therapy sessions, we would have physical therapy for starters in the cafeteria of my middle school. And so, as a reward for our therapy, we would take the garbage cans and we would take the bags out of the garbage can and we would use them as a basketball hoop. And so that incident or that reward spiraled into actual program where I was able to be a part of this wheelchair basketball program and coach and be an athlete for 19 years. And then I went on to join the Michigan Victory Games, which is similar to the Special Olympics, only it is specifically for people with physical disabilities. And I've been a part of that as well as served on the board now for, I believe, 5 years. And I'll go with
Wonderful.
that.
You see how it is my pleasure to be able to introduce people like this to my community and to be able to share these stories, guiding brilliant writers. The brilliance is not the writing. I say this, it's the stories and it's all the person behind the pen. You need to catch that series too. So Crystal, we're gonna do a little diving in now. Um, so please share with us about learning of your diabetes, one diagnosis, and a little bit of your journey.
Sure. So I was about to graduate from college and I got a job offer to go coach figure skating in Iceland. But I had to move 9 days after I graduated college. But it sounded like an amazing adventure. I had visited Iceland before, so I said sure, and I moved to Iceland. And I thought the big adventure was going to be living in another country with the northern lights and the midnight sun and the black sand beaches and geysers and glaciers and all the exciting things about Iceland. But what was really awaiting me there was a type 1 diabetes diagnosis, which was completely unexpected. I moved to Iceland in January of 2016 and I was diagnosed in September of 2016. So I'd been living there for about 9 months and my symptoms came on really rapidly. I lost about 15 pounds in 2 weeks. I was really tired and going to bed as soon as I was done coaching and then not waking up until I had to go back to the rink. So I was sleeping all the time. I was really thirsty, losing weight, and I felt like I was eating a lot, but my body wasn't able to absorb any nutrients. So once I was diagnosed, I found out, well, before I was diagnosed, I went to the doctor, did some blood work because I'd read about the symptoms of diabetes and found out that I was diagnosed with diabetes. And they were pretty sure that it was type 1. Luckily, they gave me a C-peptide test, which is a test that tells you if you're producing insulin or not. So it was confirmed that I was a type 1 diabetic, and I had to learn about my diagnosis in Iceland. Luckily, they were able to speak English, looked up different information for me within English. I didn't have to know enough Icelandic to learn about my diagnosis. So I learned about it in a completely different country. And shortly after I was diagnosed, I wrote a children's book called Gliding on Insulin about a type 1 diabetic figure skater, because I felt like at first people just saw me as my diagnosis. And I really wanted kids to know, and all people to know, that my diagnosis is part of me. And if you have a diagnosis, it's part of you too, but it's not the only part of you. You're more than just that. So this anthology fits perfectly into that.
Oh yeah, and I'm trying to get Crystal on the person behind the pen to do a reading from Gliding on Insulin, and she has exciting news because I believe another book is in the works as well. And just thank you for being you. So many kids are actually diagnosed with diabetes. Their parents dealing with it is one thing, right? And getting them the necessary treatments and such. But the kids themselves, mentally, what they have to prepare themselves for. And I think that the fact that they could look up to someone that walks around sporting an omnipod and is an international figure skater and a beauty pageant, queen, like, that's just incredible that you have not just gone on with your life and not reached back and said, no, I'm going to be an advocate for this. So, well, you know how I feel about you.
Well, thank you.
All right. So, yeah, just absolutely incredible people. So, we're going to talk to Sharon next. Sharon, please go ahead and share about your, well, various diagnoses.
Well, all of my diagnoses stem from my primary diagnoses, which is a neurological disability, otherwise known as cerebral palsy, or CP for short. And in my chapter, I decided to take it a step further and not just talk about my cerebral palsy, because I have done that a lot. And there's a lot that comes along with having a neurological disability, that you wind up developing a lot of secondary gifts and diagnoses that go along with it. These secondary diagnoses are diagnoses that you can develop if you don't have a neurological disability. But if you do have a neurological disability, it makes a lot of sense that you develop these things. And like Crystal said, part of the reason I chose to do this anthology and do this chapter this way, after I spoke to you about it, Nick, was because I was born with my cerebral palsy. So all of my life, I've pretty much been known as my diagnosis. At home, by family, school, doctors, you name it, I am my diagnoses, right? To a lot of people. And even I was the first person mainstreamed in my school district with a physical disability. And you'll find out more about that in my chapter. But I was known as the girl in the wheelchair who sometimes had the name of Sharon. And like, it was so annoying because I am so much more than my diagnosis. So I wrote my chapter in such a way that I'm working towards, to my dying day, it's part of my mission to flip the script on labels and people with diagnoses, to stop people from assigning us the name of our diagnoses and everything about us being about our diagnoses, and to look at the person with the diagnoses. So that's a lot of what my chapter is about, while also educating and telling my story of having to go through life fighting all of the stigmas, and also fighting healthcare gaslighting, because half the time I was hearing things were in my head, and they were neurologically, but they had nothing to do with me being psychologically unstable or anything like that. So that's why this chapter was so important to me, because I am so much more than my diagnoses. And it was finally a chance for me to write the chapter that I have been called to write for all of my life. So, yeah.
I know, and it's something you and I have spoken about extensively. Um, you know, oftentimes people are diagnosed with one thing, and there are second and third and fourths and fifths that come along. When you when you read these stories, um, and I've read every single one of them now, and I've met, I want to say, with I think pretty much all of the co-authors, to read through their chapters with them. And every time you think you know someone, every time you do, even as close as Sharon and I are, I had no idea that she had multiple others that resulted because of the main diagnosis. And one just very recently now that's created very, very bad blood circulation. So oftentimes, if I chat with her and we are on a Zoom together, she's laying in a bed because her doctor's orders. She has to put her legs up, and she was due to go to that fundraiser with me in New York in March. And because us traveling together in the train and then being there sitting for a few hours, that would not have worked for her in her chair at all. So thank you, Sharon,
You're
for
welcome.
choosing to write this chapter, um, and touching on the spiral that can happen with e-diagnosis, turning into several of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for the
So,
opportunity.
I'm sorry.
I just said thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. So we're going to speak to Jeff next. Jeff.
All right, so because Sharon and my diagnosis are so similar, I will tell you that cerebral palsy is a spectrum. Uh, some people have it and they are able to walk, or they can walk short distances, or maybe some are barely noticeable. All the way cerebral palsy affects different people in different ways, and I'd like to say that cerebral palsy or disabilities in general might be the floor, but they sure aren't your ceiling. So whether you're talking to doctors, you're talking to audience members, you're talking to people in the community, remember that you're capable of far more than what people will tell you you are or what you think you are. You just have to find the right people and just give yourself an opportunity. Now, to go on with my, to go forward with my diagnosis is, I of course have cerebral palsy. I am a wheelchair user, mostly just in it for the closer parking. I don't really need it. Um, Give me the big bathrooms. I get my own rooms and everything. No, I actually I can't walk. Uh, I've had uh 20, 25 surgeries, I think, 30 somewhere around in there. Uh, the most intense surgery that I know of, I had a selective dorsal rhizotomy, which is fancy speak for they cut out the dead nerves in my spine and opened up the highway. If you think of your spine as a highway that was like dead, and it made it where I could move my arms and go to the bathroom and all that fun stuff. So in addition to that, I also have an anxiety and panic disorder that developed, that I knowingly developed, at least in high school. There's a lot of issues with bullies in school. People throw things at you, people say things to you, people uh, just move your chair out of the way and don't bother to put you back. Like jerks, they could at least put me back. Like, um, get stuck in elevators, all that. In addition to that, I was also diagnosed with a depressive disorder, which is relatively new to me because I don't really know what that means. Like uh, depressive disorder, anxiety disorder, you name it, I got it. So what? Like it's another diagnosis. But all in all, I would say cerebral palsy has been a backwards gift. Uh, I wasn't supposed to live beyond 2 hours initially. They were a little bit off, just a little bit older than that. Yeah. I just
Just a
turned,
little bit off. Just a little bit off. I mean, you
um,
just had a birthday.
yeah, like last weekend. So,
Yeah.
my mom, you'll find out in my chapter, but my mom had an opportunity for a helicopter ride, and she took an ambulance. I don't see why she took the ambulance. She could have took the helicopter. It would have been way better. I mean, I don't
She
see why I
robbed
didn't
you of
get
your
a.
stardom.
I don't see why I didn't get a vote. But hey, that's But those are my diagnoses, and of course, Sharon and Nick mentioned, and even Crystal. These diagnoses, they kind of snowball sometimes. Um, Not only do they affect you physically, but they can also have an effect on your mental health in ways that you can't really explain. Because in my case, and I'm sure Sharon's and maybe even Crystal's, you know what you're experiencing, but the the special thing that happens when you're born with something is you don't know anything else. It's where you start, and so
Interesting.
when you when you're looking outside yourself, you're seeing a world that isn't built for you. So you are already up against the wall, uh, not just physically and mentally, but environmentally. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many things on the deck that are stacked against you, and the world does a better job nowadays, but there wasn't a lot of representation outwardly for disability. So really, you had to learn to be your own representation, and that's what I strive to do, is to use my life and my story and sense of humor to bridge that gap for other people. And I hope it would be the biggest blessing to me to be able to use my story in a way that makes this condition or any other condition, if you can relate to me on any level, uh, to help you with your own journey. I can't take it for you, but I hope through my voice and my experiences and my words, wherever you find them. If you want to listen to me, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to. But if you want to
Yeah,
listen to me,
it's so
um,
funny. Listen,
um,
we we are joining our voices together. This becomes a one voice movement.
yep,
And it has to start somewhere with someone. And why does someone has to be one? It's
yeah,
15, 16, including myself, of us putting our stories out there together, right? And we're
yep,
just going to keep going. And we're going to meet other people along the way, like Chris Malazewski. And we're just going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing. And our voices are going to get to a point where that's all
yeah.
we will hear
It's
until
a
change starts happening.
it's a blessing to be a part of this entire group and with you, and we won't, because I know you don't want that that big shining light on you right now, but I'm gonna say that you giving us this platform to share with you uh, is a
Very welcome.
blessing, and we appreciate you, and we'll keep saying it even if you don't want to hear it right now. Um, um,
I love
it's
you too. I love all of you.
but yeah, so I just will close by saying. Again, disability was the floor, but it's sure not the ceiling. And together, no matter where you find yourself at or what stage you find yourself at in your journey, that we're all in this together, and
Damn straight we are.
we can make this better, not just for ourselves, but for uh, future generations, and as we navigate all this together.
Damn straight we are. And like production boot back there would say, we're gonna boost the roof, yo. All right. So I just want to send a quick message out here to Jackie Halberg. I am not going to steal him from you. There is so much of Jeff to go around we totally can share. And if you want to hear more of Jeff's story, please tune in to Just Jacks on Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern with Jackie. Jeff is going to be on the show. I see so many comments out there. And before we jump into a little special something, production boot, I'm going to scroll like a mad person because I just have to say hi to my friends. Um, and I am going to shout out those that are in the book as well, who are in the audience, so you can know who will be coming up on the show that you will have an opportunity to meet. Erin, thank you so much for joining us. And I do see your comment regarding, I believe that you said an in-law that also has cerebral palsy. Thank you for sharing about that with us. Lydia Lowry Bustler is also a co-author in our book. You're going to meet Lydia soon, and she's going to share about hers. I want to say hello to Kinga Vajda. Kinga has written with us before. She is my friend down in Texas. I can't wait to go there because I need to meet Jen Lynn. I need to meet Rachel, Sia, Raquel. There's so many people that I need to meet out in Texas. Sandra Bote is also a recently released #1 international bestseller with Unmuting Myself. I had the privilege to work with Sandra on designing her book cover, and Sandra is also writing in the book with us about her ADHD diagnosis. I apologize. The awesome Jerry Ryan, we met last week, and he was here with Joshua. And Sharon Rose, I want to say hi and thank you so much for coming. Sharon's always on Mind Over Matter Mondays with Leslie Flowers, which I co-host. Hola, ¿cómo está usted, hermano? So there's Felipe Cofino, our HR to go guy. Okay, so we got a powerhouse publisher in the house. This is Ennio Song, and he is a Media Productions, I believe. He is an awesome publisher, and he did just publish, actually, Unmuting Myself. Whoa, excuse me, for Sandra. All right, where is my cheesecake? Do not talk to me unless you're coming with sweet potato cheesecake. That's all I have to say. All right, so I am going to stop there for right now. I do see so many of you here in the audience. Deb Haas is out there. Deb is also writing in the book. She recently learned that she has ADHD herself. And Rashida, you put up a beautiful comment, and I just want to say thank you so much. I do appreciate you, and happy Eid to you. Okay, 11 minutes to go, and we're like just so much to share. There was a very special song written for this book. I actually thought the song was not, and I heard it and asked, and then realized that it was. It was written for this book by one of our co-authors, Crystal B. Crystal is diagnosed with CPTSD, and she's also had some other experiences she will be on the show to share. Fell in love with the lyrics of this song, and I shared it with all the co-authors, and I said, I really would like this to be a theme song for the book. And they all agreed, because the song has to represent all of us. And then, without a doubt, I would go flying to my favorite production person in the whole world, who's my big brother. And I said, if anybody's going to do this song justice, it's you. I can make tiny little videos, tiny ones. I said, bro, I need this. So, yeah. Please hold on to your seats. It's not meant to be sad. It's meant to be uplifting. And I want to thank each and every single one of you who are here tonight for showing all the love that you are. And with that, I'm going to ask Aaron to throw that up for us.
Whispers like a spell on my doom, but I've got a soul that can't diagnose. I've walked through fire and I'm still close to everything I'm meant to be, not just what they see. I'm not my diagnosis, I'm not their doubt. I've got a voice and I'm gonna shout. I've got they can't explain. So don't you write my story yet. I'm more than limits and regret. I'm still rising year by year. I'm not my diagnosis. I'm still here. Some days hurt, some days shine, but I've made peace with this heart of mine. I've got cracks, but they let light in. That's where the strength begins. No shame in being real, that's how I heal. I'm not my diagnosis, I'm not their doubt. I've got a voice and I'm gonna shout. I've got dreams that won't be tamed. I've got joy they can't explain. So don't you write my story yet. I'm more than limits and regret. I'm still rising year by year. I'm not my diagnosis. I'm still here. Might walk a little slower, but my heart beats just as loud. Might fall and get back up again, but I wear that proud. 'Cause brave looks different on everyone, and I'm proud of who I've become. I'm not my diagnosis, I'm more than pain, more than letters next to my name. I've got fire, I've got grace, I've got hope you can't erase. So don't you tell me who I am, I'm writing that with my own hand. I'm still singing loud and clear. I'm not my diagnosis. I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here. And I'm not my diagnosis.
I hope that you guys love the video and the song as much as I do. My dad's phone isn't working. My father is bipolar 1 with mania. And I have several family members that have mental health issues, schizophrenia, OCD. My dad is in a home. I mentioned that his phone isn't working because he likes to look at YouTube videos. And we're trying to get it fixed so that he could see these shows. Because I have so many friends that I can share my bipolar diagnosis with and draw strength from and give strength to. But I can't reach my dad. I am just waiting for this book to be published. I cannot wait to sign this book and give it to him. Because I want him to know that even though I have bipolar 2, and it's likely hereditary, that while I didn't know this, and it took me a long time to figure this out and embrace it, gave me the most beautiful gift. Then I don't care what anybody says. My bipolarness is my brilliance. Our diagnoses, they aren't some appendage hanging off of us. They're in our blood and our bones. This is who we are. We're not our diagnosis. We're still here. So, okay. Crystal, any parting words for us as we start wrapping up? We have 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, that was really amazing, that video. I love how everything came together. And I do think that really represents us, and something that I feel like I've learned in every area of my life, from entrepreneurship to writing to figure skating to pageantry, is that no one can take away your story. And whatever that is, it's yours. And that's something that will last for a long time. And then having this in print in an anthology coming together, I'm really excited for this as well.
How to. Thank you. Sharon.
So, my parting words are this: we get a chance, we get a choice of where we want to put our focus. So, let's really work together to put our focus on our own gifts and talents, and then carry that forward to really looking at people for who the people are, and not just look at the exterior, because there's so much more to somebody than just their exterior. And just because you think you know what's going on doesn't mean you do. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but we are all much more than what other people think or say we are. So it all starts within yourself, and then it projects out. So, and also, one more very important thing, if you don't mind, Nick, is when you have a diagnosis, you spend so much of your life trying to be more than your diagnoses for the people around you, to save them the emotional stress of having to deal with what that diagnosis puts into your life. But so you start looking past it. And I'm here to say two things. Your diagnosis isn't who you are. You are much more than that, but you also owe it to yourself and to the world around you to honor your diagnosis and the things that your diagnosis needs you to do. That doesn't make you less than, it doesn't make you a quitter, it doesn't make you a victim. It actually makes you a victor, because you're accepting all parts of yourselves. And to all those people who can't accept all parts of you, wish them well and shut the door behind them.
Very, very well said, Sharon. Thank you so very much for that. I appreciate it. Jeff.
So I think my final message for now would be, first, thank you to all you that allowed us to share parts of our story with you. Uh, to those that don't read the book, that are part of the book, that help push this conversation forward, because this is just one step. Um, the conversation continues past tonight, and I hope that these conversations will allow me, and all of us, but allow me specifically, to connect with more of you. Um, and my final takeaway, or my final message, would be, again, that, your diagnosis or disability, whatever word you prefer, or word you prefer, wherever you find yourself at this moment in your journey, because I know disabilities, specifically or diagnoses, they pop up all the time. The roads are long, they're winding, a lot of them are lonely, but I want to remind you that you're not alone in your story or your journey. And I mean this completely and wholeheartedly. I don't say things just to say them. Um, if you ever need somebody to listen, hit that little button and say something. Um, I will respond back. You don't have to do this by yourself. And mm, disability and diagnoses are, again, just the floor. They're not the ceiling. They're not the end of your story. The story is still in your hands. Where you go with it is up to you. And it's important to remind each other and ourselves that you may find a spot in your journey, or maybe multiple spots, more likely, that you fall, that you slip, that things don't go your way. But just because you fall down, it doesn't mean that you've lost. It doesn't mean it's over. You will get back up, and not only that, there are people that care about you and that do want to see you succeed, even if you don't know their names yet. You have 4 people sitting in this room right now, in each one of these squares, that I'm sure would do anything they could to help you find your way. So just remember, if you need that reminder tonight, tomorrow, or even yesterday, because time zones are weird, um, uh, reach out anytime. Together we can do this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff. So, to our three guests tonight, I thank you so very much for your vulnerability, for your strength, and for just owning who you are. And I'm going to ask Aaron to bring you guys backstage if you want to hang on a couple of minutes, and I'll be right there. Thank you, everyone who joined tonight. It was another incredible episode, and there will be 2 or 3 more. I'm going to be here every Saturday night throughout the month of June until every single one of these co-authors has had an opportunity to come and speak to the brilliance of the person behind that pen. And yesterday, the post went out on Guiding Brilliant Writers page. The co-authors call is now open for the 3rd annual Legacy 2025. 2023 was a note to my family. 24, a message to my family. I'm going to run out of things, but now it's a letter to my family. So this is the Legacy Chronicles. We're taking 21 co-authors. Right now we have 6. And a few of them are returning for the 3rd and 4th time. So if you would like some information, this anthology will launch at the beginning of September in time to be gifts for your family, a letter to them. And to piggyback off of what Jess said, you are not alone. One of the things I am working on right now, and please follow that page, our Bipolar Brilliance. Our Bipolar Brilliance is a support group, yes, but more a meeting of the minds. So as far as I'm concerned, mental health affects everything. It governs everything, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental. We need to stay strong in our minds so we can do what we need to do. So meeting of the minds, our Bipolar Brilliance would be a weekly Zoom for us to get together with your support partner. And yes, my boo will be there too, because he's my support partner. And last but not least, because I'm seeing some messages out there about you won't believe my story, or I want to share my story. July 10th, I am launching, along with Brenda Lisa Costa, Intention to Ink. Intention to Ink is 1 hour. You meet us on a Zoom, no cost. Come in and write that book you've always wanted to write. If you're in the beginning, the middle, the end, it doesn't matter. We're going to get together and we're going to get you from intention with a few minutes in the beginning of some breath work and meditation, 45 minutes of writing, and then we will close with a little bit of, well, where did we get from the start to the finish of that session? Write your story, and like everybody says, you're the one writing it, and it's still not fully written because you're still here. So with that, I want to wish everyone a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you again for all your incredible support, for all the co-authors, for helping me to bring my company, Guiding Brilliant Writers, this far in such a short amount of time. And because of all of you, I get to stay here and work for myself. And that's the best gift ever. Thank you. Good night.
Control and embrace who you are. Set your soul free to dream. When a new day breaks and you feel you are standing at Hell's Gate, look back and you will see there is someone waiting for you, he, she, or me. Free your mind and open your heart. Loosen control and embrace who you are. Set your soul free. to dream. Free your mind and open your heart. Loosen control and embrace who you are. Set your soul free to dream. These brambles and thorns that impede the path to our greatest selves are but the test to our willingness and strength to find our greatest wealth. Free your mind and open your heart. Loosen control and embrace who you are. Set your soul free to dream. Come dream with me. Come dream with me. Come dream with me. Come